Hey everybody, welcome back to my video. Hopefully I can give you a few tips and suggestions, modifications that will make your operation better, smoother. So I guess we'll start with a little info. This is the 988 and the 680 balancer. The 988 is basically the 950 changer with a couple extra helper arms. And if you want a little bit of install video, you can see my other one where it just goes over a little bit briefly about shipping info and what you have to assemble. It's not too bad, but the instructions are pretty bad. So let's get into some modifications. First thing I did, I don't have this connected all the time, so I wanted a whip hose so I don't have to crawl back behind there. So I just use a piece, and I also added a quarter turn valve. That way I don't have to air it down if I need my hose for something or whatever. Just flip that off and it'll hold the air in the tank. Again, this is the 988/950 changer, which has the rear air tank. So it does hold some of its own air. I believe from the manufacturer, they say it's about 5 gallons of air. So it goes back to the inlet of the regulator, and I just put a straight 90 on there. Helps the hose not stick out straight back and all that. So this is all a factory fitting, and in the arm kit it comes with air hose and some extra fittings to tee in. I put it right here. There's no info on where, so I just put it there, and the hoses just run up behind the tank. So just put some bumpers on there just to help when it impacts a wall. One of the other very convenient modifications I did was put casters on here. These are 3-inch, and these are in particular are from Harbor Freight. They seem like they're pretty much all the same, and you really can't see real well, but there's a nut on here first, and I took the rubber bumper out, put one nut on there, and then the second nut goes on there. Now if you get the Harbor Freight ones, that stud is a 1/2-20, which is not standard. You won't find that at your local home store. So you'll have to go to a regular hardware store or order them. But the nuts are not included, they don't come with it, so you'll need 8 of them total. Like I said, as you can see, there's kind of a U shape, and so the caster doesn't sit in there without the nut in there. Otherwise, you could technically use washers stacked up also, but it's just as easy to use a nut. So that makes it very easy to move it around. They're also locking, so you can reposition it or pull it out when you want to use it. The tire bar lever comes with it. The little bucket comes with it. I did just grab a jug of this from a local store. It's actually cheaper than O'Reilly's. or sorry, on Amazon or whatever. I think I got it at O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever. So then on to airline info. Now this is what they call the bead blaster, and if you look down inside and you look at this hose size, it's tiny. It really doesn't do a whole lot. It runs through a regulator down in the bottom, so you can actually change it. But on regulators, that's the main one right there. I turned it up to, I think, 125 just to get a little more capacity. And honestly, it doesn't flow very much air. It's really slow. So that's what motivated me to add some extra airline. So what I did was used a I'll back up a little bit. This is what comes with it. Normally it's just screwed in here. So I just took that out, put a T, and you could do this different, but the principle is basically the same. Just a T, and then this leg goes down, and one of these, like this one here, is actually for a basically a high volume bead blaster. So the tank is at whatever, 125 right now. So I will get full 125 psi from this hose. No regulator, no nothing. So you do have to be careful with it. This one stops around 40 or 45 psi. This one, you'll get full tank pressure and volume. This one is an extra right now, and if you wanted to add capacity, you could do it like this and just add an extra hose to a tank. If you have one of those air tanks, like a 5-gallon air tank, you could run it to that, get another 5 gallons or whatever, 7 gallons, 10 gallons, whatever. And that way you just get more capacity, so you can run longer. If you want to see what I did, I just made a quick little high flow, high volume inflator. I just took the little thing out of the center there, put the valve, and it'd be really loud if I turn that, so I'm not going to, but that way it allows you to run a lot more air for those more difficult tires. You may need a bead seeder, bead blaster, whatever you want to call them. There's different ways of doing it. You can buy the tank designed for it on eBay. I found them cheapest. I got one coming because doing a tire did end up being a little difficult. So then on to the balancer. Really doesn't have much, but you're probably going to want to buy one of these cones. That's a 5.5 inch cone, I believe, about 40 bucks on Amazon, or up to like 200 other places. So don't pay the more expensive one. Otherwise, just an assortment of weights and stuff. I'm going to just probably use the stick-on ones. This is a nice little weight scraper. Probably want a valve stem tool of some sort. And this is what I did for right now. It really should be bolted down. and this floor is not level. So what I did, you really can't see real well, but I put a bolt upside down, 3/8 by 2.5, I believe it is. And then you put one nut on the bottom and a washer if you want it. And then you can adjust it up and down and then just crank that top one. And that allows you to level all of them, and you can make it real stable. The balancer, you do want that level as much as possible. And when you're leveling it, put it on here and here, get level, you know, two sides. You don't want to put it on the top that's all a plastic cover and it's not going to be level. So make sure it's, technically I guess it would be plumb here and plumb on this side, and just, you know, a couple wrenches, adjust up and down. Very convenient, very useful, easy way to level. So I think that about covers everything. I'll leave you some info on the fittings I used if you want to pre-order them. They're all basic plumbing fittings. I use all Milton type V as in Victor, high flow fittings. Those are a little higher price than the regular ones, but I prefer them because they do flow better, and that way all my couplers are interchangeable. Otherwise, you know, normal T fittings, 1/4 inch NPT. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too boring for you. Gave you a few ideas and a little bit of excitement for a new tool, things you can do with it. Only had it a few days and I'm already seeing people wanting stuff changed, so I'll leave all the info down in the description. So good luck, have fun with it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Catch you later.